A trace of smoke. It was a quiet summer evening in the village of Woynmere. Too quiet for Leo Carter's curious mind. Leo was 13, a lover of puzzles, old maps, and anything with a secret. He had a knack for noticing things others ignored. So when he looked out his window and saw a faint trail of smoke curling into the sky from the far side of the woods, he knew something was wrong. There were no campgrounds in that direction, no houses, just the abandoned railway station, shut down for over 40 years. Grabbing his flashlight, notebook, and a chocolate bar, Leo sneaked out of his house. His best friend, Tilly Morgan, lived next door and always said yes to an adventure. Within 10 minutes, she was walking beside him, munching half the chocolate bar. "So you're saying there's smoke coming from nowhere?" Tilly asked. "Exactly. But not nowhere. The old station," Leo said. Tilly stopped walking. "You mean the one people say is haunted?" Leo grinned. Even more reason to check it out. The forest was thicker than they remembered, with tangled branches like reaching fingers. The sun had dipped below the horizon, and fireflies blinked between the trees. But Leo's flashlight was strong, and Tilly had her dad's walkie-talkie, just in case. When they reached the clearing where the station stood, they froze. The building was still boarded up and crumbling, but something was definitely different. A thin line of gray smoke leaked from the broken chimney. And more than that, the air smelled like fresh coffee and burnt wood. Someone was inside. "Do we knock?" Tilly whispered. Leo shook his head and tiptoed around the back. A loose wooden plank gave them just enough space to squeeze through. Inside was dim, dusty, and strange. A single lantern glowed in the center of the room. On a small table sat a steaming mug. Next to it, a large map was pinned down by rocks. It wasn't just any map. It was of Woynmere and the surrounding hills, and it was covered in red X's. "Someone's planning something," Leo muttered. But what? Suddenly, they heard a creak from above. Footsteps. "Attic?" Tilly whispered. Leo nodded. They darted behind an old ticket booth and waited. The footsteps moved slowly, then paused. Then, bang! Something heavy fell. A voice cursed softly. A man's voice. Leo and Tilly looked at each other. "Time to move," he mouthed. They waited until the footsteps started again, then dashed to the map. Leo snapped a photo with his phone, grabbed the lantern, and made for the door. But just as they were squeezing back out, Leo spotted something. A hidden trapdoor under a rug. Tilly raised her eyebrows. "We have to." Down they went. The trapdoor opened into a steep tunnel, the walls lined with crumbling brick. The air smelled of coal and rust. Leo's lantern flickered as they followed the narrow path. They emerged into what used to be a small underground railway hub. An old mine cart sat on rusty tracks, and faded signs pointed toward different parts of the village. On the walls, there were new cables, cameras, and a locked storage unit with a red symbol, like a lightning bolt through smoke. "This isn't just an old station," Leo said. "Someone's using this place." "But why?" Tilly asked. Suddenly, the radio on her belt crackled. "Security breach, main room, check the basement." The kids froze. Then came the footsteps, fast and loud. Leo grabbed Tilly's hand, and they dove behind a stack of crates just as two men with flashlights entered. "Weird. It's open. Could be animals. Animals don't knock over maps." They checked the room briefly, then left, but not before locking the trapdoor behind them. Leo and Tilly were trapped. "We need to find another way out," Leo whispered. The underground space had more than just old junk. On the wall was a chalkboard filled with numbers and symbols. Leo studied it closely. "It's a cipher," he said. "A code for locations." He worked quickly, using the clues he remembered from the map upstairs. After a few minutes, he cracked part of it. "It's pointing to the Woynmere Dam," Leo said, eyes wide. "That's where the main pipe runs under the village." "You think they're going to blow it up?" Tilly gasped. "Or reroute it, flood something." Or steal water for some secret operation? Tilly pulled out her walkie-talkie and tried to call her dad. No signal. They needed to escape, and fast. Leo spotted a rusted door at the far end. With some effort, and a solid kick from Tilly, it opened to another narrow tunnel leading to the edge of the forest. They were free, but the sky was now dark. Somewhere far off, a distant rumble echoed. Was that thunder? Tilly asked. No, Leo said. That was the dam. They ran. It took them 30 minutes of non-stop running to reach the Windmere Dam. The metal gates were shut, but the water level looked off, way too low. A black truck was parked near the maintenance building. Inside, the kids spotted the same red lightning bolt symbol. They're already here, Leo said, but maybe not finished. They snuck around the back and entered through a service ladder. In the control room, a man was at the panel, turning dials and muttering into a radio. Next to him was a briefcase, marked with the same map from the station. Leo signaled Tilly. She crept in and unplugged the generator while Leo jumped in and shouted, "Police are on their way." The man spun around, shocked, and ran. But Leo was ready. Using the walkie-talkie at last, Tilly sent out an emergency call to her dad, who was the village electrician, and part of the local safety committee. In less than 5 minutes, help arrived. The man was arrested. His name was Grayson Pike, a former city engineer who had planned to divert Windmere's water to sell it to a private company. He had used the old station as a secret base and laid out pipelines underground, hiding everything with smoke, coffee, and distractions. But he hadn't counted on 2 clever kids. The next day, Leo and Tilly were called to the town hall. The mayor awarded them with certificates of bravery and free ice cream for a year. "Well," Tilly said, biting into a double scoop, "next time you see smoke in the distance, we bring marshmallows," Leo grinned. They both laughed, ready for the next mystery. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you in the next one.